This is the conclusion of the warm-up period. Teams, please line up and prepare for competition and for exercise.
Gymnastics team are all soldiers and athletes who balance military duties, the rigor of academics, while maintaining peak athleticism. They conquered the Eastern College Athletic Conference time and time again. 1958, 1960, 1962. Now on the final competitor on the Pommel board. Look at that terrain. If he keeps this up, they've got a real shot at taking down Mason. Arny wins. The pride of West Point stands tall once again. Each routine reflects their discipline. Each moment honors their legacy. This is Arny Gymnastics.
Gymnastics fans, on behalf of our Superintendent, Lieutenant General Steve Gilland, the Commandant of Cadets, Brigadier General R.J. Garcia, and the Army West Point Director of Athletics, Mr. Tom Theodorakis, welcome to the Major General Neil and Joan Creighton Gymnastics Arena, home of Army West Point Gymnastics. Now, let us welcome the teams. Please welcome the tribe of William and Mary. The head coach for William and Mary is Mike Powell, assisted by Bo Morris. Team captains for William and Mary are Jonathan Irwin, Ricky Puzum, and Sam Smith. And now, please make some noise and welcome your Army West Point Black Knights. Army's coaching staff includes head coach J.E. Reed, assisted by associate head coach Carmen Giglio, and Assistant Coach Jake Benet. Today's Army Officer Representative is Major Christina Fauser-Martin. Team captains for Army are Joseph Busselmeyer and Noah Duran. Judges for today's competition are Michael Kurth, Mackenzie Dow, Lenny Lucarello, and Steve Beltry. Ladies and gentlemen, to honor America, please rise and remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem. Good luck to the competitors.
I am Arny Ferrando.
Starting off the competition, both teams will begin on floor exercise. First up for Army is Ben Aguilar, and on deck for William and Mary, Evan Wilkins.
So welcome to my call. We are about ready to get started. We're going to look at Jordan, and we're going to get started right off with the gymnastics on the floor exercise, and it'll go 1 and 1. So usually William and Mary will start, and then Army will follow. Go, Ben! Army coaches, Jamie was announced, I'm sorry. Jamie is actually in his second season. Karma Gillo is been here since Go ahead.
So Army is one of our players, Ben Aguilar. You have to keep floor. The gymnast did get a deduction going outside the bounds. So that there's too much power.
We have a strong contingent of freshmen here who have competed from day one. Great recruiting impact on our team to this point. So I think you'll enjoy watching them. Yeah, you're
hop on the landing there.
Right. Yeah. It's all about sticking, as any gymnast will tell you, right? Your passes and landing them firmly, because you give away tenths that you really don't need to. But nice start for the Army team. And Christian, I'll turn the tribe over to you, please.
All right, thank you. So first up, we got Evan Wilkins. He is a sophomore, and honestly, arguably the best tumbler on the squad. He's got some huge gymnastics for us. This should be a really exciting routine. High difficulty. And the stick on that first connection pass, full to double front, gets 1/10 of connection bonus. Huge full twisting double layout. That's an F now, this code. And it looks like he managed to either stick or just about stick.
This is setting up to be a great routine, Christian.
Absolutely. Evan is fantastic in the air. He's like a cat. You could throw him up, he'll find a way to his feet.
The one interesting thing you see now with these every 4 years, the code change on Olympic year. So they've added back in the scale as a required element for men's gymnastics in the 4X. And you see some of these guys that have never done a scale in their life because it hasn't been in there for 20-something years now. And now they're trying to relearn how to do a scale.
That's a nice routine. That's a very nice routine.
I mean, biggest deduction in the whole set was on the dismount. I know how bad he wanted that stick. He's been drilling him in practice, that half, eluding him just a little bit. But no, that was a really good routine, strong lead off. I imagine he'll be pretty pleased with that.
So you see Army score up already for Ben, 12.2. And what was the starting value of the difficulty on that, Christian? It had to be close to 5, huh?
It reads at a 14.5, so a bit lower. It is now especially difficult to get to a 15 start value on floor. I believe Evan did, but that's because he had 2 connection passes and an F in a full value dismount. But with the with some of the element group changes, and largely due to these shorter routines, pushing that 15.0 start value is more difficult.
All right, we got another freshman
so far for Cash Johnson here on floor. Another freshman. It's a pretty clean routine so far.
Cash is out of Houston. I know his parents are there supporting him, Danica and Jeff. And he's been very consistent here. Again, it's hard, as you all can appreciate, starting your freshman year in college. So it says a lot about your capability.
Good stick there on that third pass. Yeah, so Arny, Cash's parents, I sat with them last weekend at the Army-Navy meet, and they're a lot of fun.
Yeah, they certainly are. His mother particularly, she's somewhere between effusive and nuclear in her energy level.
Yeah.
So it's
high energy,
always,
got the crowd going.
Yeah, it's nice.
I'm sure she's happy. She's happy with that. That was a great routine by Cash.
All right, and next up for the tribe, it looks like we've got freshman Connor Barrow. He's also a Texas kid, a big tumbler, powerful. You'll see him on floor and vault today.
Well, you guys start off the right because you have a point up on us already, just with that first routine. So a good selection of order for the coach.
Oh, so that pass is new. In the first couple meets of the season, he was doing lay punch double front. It's impressive he's able to switch like that because he still gets connection bonus, but he might be able to keep a little better form in the air on that double full. Double full. Side pass down the side. Pretty common pass. It's seen in a lot of floor routines as an easy way to get down the side because you do now have to tumble across the side. You cannot, while you're trying to touch all 4 corners in your flow routine, you can't just do an artistry pass down the side and have it count.
I like the V-sit. That was a nice addition.
Big triple full, pretty late in the set.
Big trip, yeah.
Triple full.
Yeah.
There's that scale we're talking about.
He's gearing up for his dismount here. Should be a double tuck. If he really wants to stick, he'll get the extra 10th and bonus for stick. On a big step backwards. Not quite sure if his foot slid out of bounds. If so, it'd only be a 10th. In addition to the step itself, of course. But that's a good set. Hitting is what they need to do at this point in the meet, and especially from a freshman to be so early in the lineup and competing all season like this. That was a good job.
We got
So up next for Army, we have Max Rubin. He's a junior out of Dania Beach, Florida.
They posted Cash a score. I guess we could do the math on it and see what it is. We'll see shortly.
Starts with that double front. A couple little small steps on the landing there. Oh, nice clean pass.
Christian, it seems to be more of an irritation, the scale, to be honest with you, because it's an A move, and you don't have nothing to gain but everything to lose on it.
Oh, I'm right there with you. I am pretty high up in the leadership of the Skill Hater Club. I was not a fan of its addition. Yeah, I just feel it's a big disruption to the momentum of the routine, and unnecessarily so. I've never watched someone do, a triple twisting double layout and wondered if they could stand still on one leg. You got the balance covered as far as I'm concerned.
So
point.
I'll tell you, Christian. Back when I was competing, the scale was your time to catch your breath before your dismount or something of that nature. And it's now with so many passes and you got that time limit on floor. It's hard to even think about catching your breath. You want to put as many elements and difficulty in the routine as you can.
Exactly. Pack up that difficulty.
I like that corner.
Yeah, the triple
nice.
Russian on the floor.
Nice.
Love seeing those horse elements on the floor.
Yeah. Not easy on the wrist either, is it?
No, I did I'm such a rings guy. I actually did a swallow on floor as well. I did a Maltese on floor. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. All right, and he is now also going to gear up for that dismount up right after this scale. And so you'll notice all these athletes are dismounting with double flips. There's the bell. He's got. There you go, and just a small hop backwards.
That was nice.
Good routine for Nico. Nice. Yeah, you'll notice all these athletes are doing these double flipping dismounts, and that is honestly one of, if not the biggest change to the floor code this season, is that double flipping requirement for the dismount. If you want full value for the element group and no deduction, or pardon me, dismount is no longer an element group. So if you don't want a neutral deduction, then you do have to do a double flipping dismount.
Okay. There's the scores for Army so far in floor: 12-2, 13-1, 13-2-5. So we're looking here for our senior captain, Jojo Busmeyer. He put up a big score here, and he's got the potential to do it. Good opening pass on the connection there.
Jojo is actually going to medical school after graduation here.
Oh, congratulations to him. That's awesome.
Yeah. Very sharp kid.
It's a nice wide-on
Also
press.
spent some time with Jojo's parents last weekend at the meet. Also very dedicated to supporting the Army Gymnastics program, which is great to see.
You can see Nico's score in the background there. Came in at a 13-1. Seems to be the judges' sweet range, although a lot of these start values are pretty similar. So, given that they execute similarly, of course, they're going to fall around that 13-0 range.
Nice.
Double pike, just a small little hop on the landing. And that's hard to control on some of these newer floor apparatus. Unless you really absorb that landing, you're going to just naturally bounce back a little bit.
And so And next up, we're going to have Luke Tully, who's out. So this is another freshman. We had 2 freshmen on this lineup and 2 sophomores. So really the younger guy is holding it down for us. And he is an extremely talented gymnast and lots of fun. Good energy in the gym. Gorgeous execution.
Nice double front. Stuck that
Absolutely
too.
stomped it.
Yeah.
And so part of the reason you're seeing all these double fronts specifically is because if you, they took all the twisting element group, all twisting skills, and made them their own element group. So if you do anything with like a full and a half or more, then it's in a different element group. But you need a C value skill for the front flipping element group in order to get credit for the full element group. And the only other C's are a full and Rudy, which are in different element group, which are in the twisting element group. So you have to do a double front, essentially, if you want full value for that element group too. Luke is cooking here. This is a good set for him.
Yeah, very, 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 very clean to this point.
He's gearing up for his dismount now. I know he wants that stick. It escaped him, but that was a good set.
Yeah, tough
Very
to do.
clean.
Well, bounce back.
Double pike is like weirdly hard to stick relative to a double tuck. I feel like you could, wake me up in the middle of the night and put me on a tumble strip and I could still stick a double tuck. But double pike, even I think it's like the kick out time, the rotation speed, just being a little bit different makes that much of a difference while you're trying to find the landing.
You're also trying to land also with locked legs, right? So you have to know at the exact right time to kind of put some flex in those legs and absorb that bounce back.
Yeah, I agree. Even off the rings, I did off the rings, many millennia ago, and you're right. That was the challenge of it, as compared to a tuck.
All right, and last up, we've got Mark Fu, who is an all-arounder. So although his score will not count for the team, it will count towards his all-around score at the end of the day. So he starts with that double front as well. He's going to run back here with some connection tumbling. Double full to full. It's a great pass, personally. I love seeing all the twisting, although it will not receive connection in this code.
So I guess we're at our 4-4, and right now William and Mary has like about a 4/10 lead coming out. They had a very nice floor set as a team. Very nice.
Yeah, all 4 at 13 and above for William and Mary, which will absolutely be their highest 4 score of the season.
Oh, I love this transition.
Oh yeah, Mark is exceptional at those flare elements. He's on Pommel Horse lineup as well, and so we'll get to see more of that. Fortunately, he's real good. So you hear that bell. The athletes have 75 seconds to complete their routines, so he's got to hustle now. Got to land before the double bell. That's where the deduction will incur. All right. So he will get a deduction for going over time, but he stayed on his feet, and that'll still be a counting score for his all-arounds.
All right. That event somewhere up there on screen now. The Army at a 52.15. William and Mary coming in at 52.5. So just under that 4/10 lead right now, and we'll see what goes on to move on to rotation 2 on the Pommel Horse. Interestingly, last week on the Pommel Horse, Army picked up I think over 2 points on Navy. Army had a great week on Pommel Horse. They got a great lineup, hit 4 for 4, so hoping for that to happen again here.
Yeah, every time we say this at the West Point Open, it's our jinx. So I've been keeping my mouth shut on this here.
Yeah, William and Mary has been struggling with horse this season, so hoping, praying that they'll keep it together this time. Not to dig on them too much. I'm in the gym, so I get to make fun of them while I'm there as well.
We have a strong Pommel Horse team this year. It hasn't always been the case in our past, but this year we have a very strong team. Again, two freshmen with Ben and Prabhakaran, and then Gabe is a senior, and Maddox is a junior. So Maddox has a difficult stuffed routine too. It's nice when he hits it. We'll see.
Oh yeah,
So
Maddox,
Maddox is actually
exceptional.
he's exceptional on the Pommel horse. He came out in first place Pommel horse at this year's West Point Open, and I believe he has another West Point Open title from 3 years ago. So freshman year there.
So, Christian, while we're waiting here, maybe you can explain a little bit of rules change on the Pommel horse.
How does that affect the scores we'll see today on the horse?
Yeah, so like on floor, the scores will generally be lower, although with Maddox swinging, it'll be hard to tell. Yeah, so there are 4 element groups, and if you want full value for the element group, which is 5/10, then you need to do at least a C value skill in the NCAA. They get an exception, C or higher. Elite, it's a D or higher. And if you do that C, then you get the full value for the element group, if except for element group 1, of course, which is the scissoring element group. So you'll see most athletes get creative around the element group 2 requirement, and that's where you'll find your Kiers, Wendy Sings, your flops, things like that, your spindles, because those are trickier generally to get a C or higher for than maybe your travels, because most travels are about a D value or higher. And so most of these athletes can do a Magyar or a Savato or both, and that's not going to be much of an issue. But trying to get as much difficulty value as they can out of their routines, that raising that start value will be difficult for them in these single pommel elements and their spindles. And handstand dismount are so important. They are easily the most deducted part of a horse routine. There's like 30 different ways to deduct them. And so hopefully Ricky Bism here, junior and captain, is going to start us off strong. Ricky does have full start value for his flop and his traveling element groups, so he'll be a good example. There you go. So that was a Roth, which he does so well. He's so comfortable in his swing, which I really appreciate about him. And you'll see he agitates that circle, makes it more up and down, so he can pop it right up to that handstand, pull the double pirouette, and you see he is psyched about that. Almost lost it for a minute there. And so part of the reason he went for that double pirouette was for that difficulty value. So ordinarily, and I say ordinarily, in the most recent quad, doing the double pirouette was only 1 additional tenth from a single. But now, since the dismount element group mirrors the value of the skill, it's a 2/10 swing. And I mean, two tenths is enough, for that risk to some people, especially if you can manage it like what you just did.
Here's first up for Army, Ben Aguilar. Starting off here, led us on floor, led us on pommel, freshman again. So, like I said, we got a younger team bringing in a lot of talent, and hopefully we keep it going here.
Nice. Single pommel.
Wow. Yeah, and his swing just looks nice, extended. He looks relaxed. Looks great on the pommel horse. There we go. That was a great set.
What's the difference, Christian, in the swing to handstand pirouette dismount and the kind of more dismount that he used?
Yeah, so that Russian dismount is actually, it's capped now. Previously, you were able to do a triple Russian dismount flank off for a D value and you'd get the full element group value. Not anymore. It is hard capped at a C, which means you'll never get more than 3/10 for the start value for the skill, and then 3/10 for this for the element group, no matter how many Russians you add. All right. So next up, we got sophomore Jared Neumann. He's another one. He's got a great swing, a very relaxed swing as well, which I personally am a fan of. He just looks like he's playing up on the horse. So Jared also a big fan of those flaring skills, the flared side travel, flared Magyar.
Beautifully done.
And now he's going to do Tong Fei, which is beautiful. And pop that handstand up, single pirouette, and that's a hit. Yup, no,
Yeah,
we will
good clean
absolutely
set.
take that.
They're proving you wrong here, Christian. You dissed them at the beginning of this event. So far, these two have looked beautiful.
Whatever it takes, man. If reverse psychology is what I need, or they need an enemy, which is me, to fight against, that's okay.
Yeah, with two nice routines there, in all fairness.
Yeah. And so you'll notice Jared did not do any of those C-value Kier Wendy swing skills. So that element group 2, he's only going to get 3/10 for it because he did, he did a check year or more, but he didn't do, a C or D value spindle or a flop. So he's only going to get the B and the 3/10. But if someone does a flop, they get that D and the 5. So they're, 6/10 up on him. The way that difficulty is incentivized now.
They're watching now Jake Frabacon, another freshman on the Army squad this year.
Swing's nice.
Full extension on his circling skills. Great form.
Are they? I wonder if they'll credit that.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. I was
Oh.
going to say, if you don't get up there, they take it away. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah. So. Okay. Yeah. They're making him repeat his dismount, and the issue there is that his legs lowered, and
He went up and then lowered down and back up.
Exactly. And it's that down and up motion is what they look for. Once you go down and try to press back up, that's when you lose credit. And thanks to Kohei, we get to repeat that dismount instead of just losing credit for the element group altogether. So absolute shame because that was a gorgeous set. He's got such a nice swing.
So
and
what's
he
the
can clearly
deduction
do a
now?
very good dismount. So he gets deductions for everything incurred on the first dismounts and a fall. And then he gets credit for the second one, but they still take deduction on it. And so that's what I was saying earlier that your handstand dismount on Pommel horse is by far the most make it or break it part of any set. There are a million different ways to incur deduction, and none of them are especially forgiving.
Right. So that was a loss of a point out of his score is what you're saying, at least.
Absolutely. And typically you'll get, he attempted the skill, did not get credit. So he'll get deductions for the strength that he showed, the break of swing, and then the fall. And then he gets to retry it.
And deducted on the follow-on try. Yeah.
Exactly. And so now we got Gavin Zabrowski, who started with a nice C-scissor up there. Moving into the check here. The DSA, or direct Stockley A. And so this is a flop, which he manages to get through. That was awesome. Loops, single Stockley. Now into the Magyar. So he's now hit full credit for all 3D element groups thus far. And Gavin is also going to do a Russian dismount. So he'll be capped here, but he hit it. He kept form. That was fantastic.
Yeah, nice job. They're looking very consistent. On the other hand, we're struggling a bit, it looks like, in these things. So Gabe is a strong side horseman. Let's hope he gets us back on track here with Maddox to follow. So
Gabe's another flare guy as well, so he's got a fun routine to watch. Although there are limits.
Interesting.
There are limits on the flare skills now in terms of difficulty and the number you can do, which is a tad annoying because these flare routines are so exciting. But my heart breaks for Jake. 12-1-5 even with the fall is unfortunate. He was really cooking.
yeah, last week he had a beautiful routine actually.
Let's see what Gabe's flare routine does for us here. He's been fun to watch over the past 4 years. It's such an interesting, different look to his pommel horse.
Yeah, nice work.
Oh, that's huge. An icon? That's crazy. So he absolutely is going to get full value for that Kier Wendy swing element group in the most difficult and awesome way possible.
Oh, what was that? Tell me, is he going to get credit for that Is he going to get credit for that dismount?
He will for this one. He got his feet down underneath of him at the last moment there. We take those.
So made the dismount just take some deduction on execution on that, I'm assuming.
Yeah, like, I mean, they'll deduct you for, like, not swinging directly upside down through a handstand as well. I mean, it's truly unique how hard it is to do a good pommel horse dismount, to the point where even in judging courses, they recommend it may not be worth it for your athlete to repeat the dismount if they fell the first time.
I see.
And we got Mark here,
Well,
another flare guy.
Nice work.
Yep, so
That's
that's a
right.
full spindle. He'll get full value for when you swing out in the group. The flare side travel. This Magyar he's doing here, also in the flare, will get him full credit for the travel on a group. And he's going to try and pop up the dismount now, which he gets. So that is a credit dismount. You just incur different deductions. You see, he got up to the handstand, but he got caught in the pirouette. So he'll incur deductions for the form break and for not finishing the pirouette on the correct side of the horse. But he still receives full he still receives credit for doing a handstand dismount.
Yeah.
Well, Maddox is up next. He's got the most difficult routine on our 5-1 starting difficulty there on our team. So he if he hits it, it's normally a good, very big score for him. So
15-1 also puts him well above the William & Mary squad as well.
I don't think people realize how difficult this event is there to do. I would actually avoid walking by this thing because I thought it would bite or kick. So, to actually do a routine as well as they do it and finish, because as you know, it's just it's a game of inches on this.
Absolutely. Maddox is ranked 7th in the nation, by the way, on this event. So if at all we were understating how excellent he is, please let that do the talking for us.
See what Maddox does here. Starts off a little one pommel work.
Gorgeous. Oh, he swings in double under.
Wow.
Moving through these travels real quick. No extra circles. Walk right up. There you go. Good work.
Nice clean set for Maddox.
Yeah. He is consistent on this, I will say. He's like rock steady, man. I mean, we'll see. That's probably high 13, wouldn't you say, Christian?
I would certainly guess so. All right, so we're still waiting for Maddox to score, but Mark Fu with that 10.95 is absolutely going to open the door for Army to probably overcome that 4/10 gap that they had, that they were behind William & Mary after the first rotation.
Yeah, and the interesting thing, it wasn't like he actually missed the routine. It was just like he had a little trouble on the dismount. And again, to the earlier point, it's just such an unforgiving event.
It is good to see, the lack of actual falls. Like, we count a couple falls on the dismounts, but there's a lot of men's gymnastics competitions where you see 1, 2, 3 falls throughout the course of the meet, and this year so far I haven't really seen that from some of these experienced teams out there. It's been good to watch.
I know it's a great place to be at this point in the season, to have that confidence you're going to get through the set and just worry about how the dismount's going to go is not the worst place to be. So Maddox's score came in there just over 13.7, so that'll give him the title. I believe JoJo won the first event as well, so 2 event titles to Army so far.
And to your point, it opened up. It gave us a 3-point something lead after that event. So we're going into the third event, still rings. I recall from our time at the West Point Open that William & Mary has some pretty substantial studs on the rings, which is not the strongest Army event, I would say. So it'll be interesting to see how things go here.
Yeah, no. So I was a big rings guy, and William & Mary historically, or pretty decent ring squad, I believe. I gave some fun facts over conference when I was commentating this past season, and since like I want to say 2016, 2017, every conference except for one or two, a William & Mary athlete has either won it outright or won a share of the rings title at conference. So we are a historically pretty strong ring squad. Evan Wilkins has got some nice crosswork, and he might even do a Maltese today. Nico's going to do a Maltese. Mark has one of the best Azarians I've ever seen. Zachary's not going to do as much strength, but he will have full value for his swinging and his dismount element group. So lots of double-doubles today, which is unusual. Typically, we are pretty strong and not so good in the air, and somehow these kids are both.
Yeah, that's...
Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, go ahead, Arny. Yep. So that's interesting, and I think part of that, it's worth noting, part of these rule changes the last couple of years, you saw less of the strength elements and more these Yamawaki, the swings, and I think historically for the viewer, that kind of made the rings a little bit less exciting. Like, people look at the rings, they want to see these big, strong guys doing all types of strength elements that, you know, defy gravity and people's mindset. I'm like, how can you even do that sort of thing? So
it's real
good to see some of those coming back.
Absolutely. I agree. I mean, it's a real double-edged sword to compete these difficult strength elements because they are also rather heavily deducted. The harder you work to do these skills, the harder the judges work to take them from you, is what I tell the athletes when we're training them. I give a lot of help in the gym on ring strength training, and you have to make your positions like undeniably excellent. And so in the past quad, where you could get, you know, full value for the element group, you know, some guy doing a press versus someone doing, you know, an uprise cross. An uprise cross is so much harder than a press handstand, you know, but it's only breaking out 1/10 apart when you add the element group back in. And even then, I mean, on a cross, you can get a false grip deduction, you can get high entry, you can get high hold, short hold, and so on and so forth. And it is so much more difficult to do this cross than it is to do a press, but it's not really incentivized unless you can do it perfectly. So I appreciate that.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Christian. I was going to say, had they limited in this quadrennial the number of strength moves? Because I remember the Lord of the Rings, the Chinese athlete who won the Olympic gold. He had like 6 crosses in his rings. They were amazing, like inverted, back uprise inverted, and you know. So are the number of crosses limited in this quadrennial?
Yes. So each strength position can be utilized as a final position twice. And so that means you get 2 cross positions, you get two Maltese, you know, 2 inverts if that's what you do, and so on. The difficult part is, of course, you know, routine flow. You have to break up your strength with swing. So every 3 strength skills, whether that is static strength for element group 2 or swing to strength for element group 3, you have to have a swing element. So the real strong guys are going to do something to the effect of, you know, strength, 1 swing, and that gets them halfway through the routine, right? And then they're going to do 2 more strength, find a way to get the handstand and a dismount.
Let's see.
Yeah, so I like that there is now more difference between someone who is taking that risk and pushing themselves to train strength on rings and someone who is doing a swing routine to a double-double. Personally, of course, I'm biased in that, you know, I did all the big strength stuff and, you know, got absolutely wrecked on it for a while before I you know, got good enough so that I was being rewarded for the elements I was doing. And while that development is necessary, I don't want anyone to not be deducted for bad positions. I do think that risk should be more incentivized.
All right, so Gabe's starting off there. Take it away there, Dan.
Yeah, so here we go up. Gabe Almeida, again, a senior. He's from Rhode Island. We'll see. He's got a 4-1 difficulty start, so a couple different strength elements, but let's see what he can put down. Watch him warm up there a little bit. Get some nice dismount working. So we're looking for those sticks at the end of the routine.
Great plans to start. He's got his rings forward.
Come on.
Back to that straight planche. She's got a little bit of swing
second
in
planche.
So the way swing of the rings is deducted, because they are the still rings, is that for every element in which the cables have excessive swing, you lose a tenth.
Nice giant.
Good lock arm back giant.
Dismount.
Thank you.
There you go.
Just the one.
Great landing on that dismount.
A nice half.
Now up for William and Mary, Zachary Patrick.
I'd say over the past few years, the Army team has really put a lot of practice into their execution, as well as focused on those stick landings on dismounts.
And it's noticeable. Army is both consistent and consistently excelling at that E-score.
Yeah, JD's philosophy was to put together the 8 tricks at least and be very clean. And then as the year goes on here, he's going to add difficulty. I think we actually lost out the Navy on difficulty last week because they were both outstanding teams in that meet. And we just came up a little shy on difficulty.
So we got Zachary Patrick, a senior here. And this is his first appearance on rings this season. And he's going to do a double-double dismount, I believe, which is brand new for him. And that'll be very exciting. Some of the swinging elements, it's a handstand. And so you'll notice some athletes do those Yamawaki elements directly into a front giant swing to handstand, because they were devalued this code. But you can get their original value back if you connect it directly to a swing to handstand.
Yeah. Oh, just came up a little short. It was nice in the air, though.
He's going to be real frustrated about that. I know him. Unfortunate, because the rest of it was pretty nice.
It's pretty good. Couple bobbles coming up short on the handstands a little bit, but other than that, yeah, the form looked good. The dismount was huge. I think he just opened up a little too early on it.
That's what I see too. He just kind of opened up a little early.
Yeah, and that's the struggle with training these new dismounts, getting the air awareness, first time doing it in this gym, things like that. And yeah, on his back giants, Zach loves to let that archiness get away from him. So he's been working real hard on that handstand shaping, and it shows up the most on parallel bars, where he's phenomenal. But yeah, sometimes that's the way it goes.
Jaden Blank coming up next, sophomore on the Army squad. He's from Sarasota, Florida. I've noticed, interestingly, the climate that the West Point campus is in is pretty brutal during the winter. And oddly, we have a lot of younger guys that we've recruited from places like Houston, Florida, Arizona. It was probably a big transition for them on their first year.
Little did they know what they were getting into, huh?
That's right. Kip L lowers into a cross. And it does look like he has a bit of a false grip, and that you were saying, Christian, that could be a deduction on that strength element.
It is. It maxes out at a 1, so some athletes consider it worth it. Like, oh, I may not be able to do it, textbook perfect, but if it's worth, 5 tenths for the element group and 3 tenths for the skill, as well, incur the 1 tenth deduction if I come out on top.
Nice giant.
Come on, stick, Jaden.
Yeah, nice.
Another
nice
stick
landing.
on that full twisting double. Yeah, that was very nice.
Looked like a tall athlete. Oh, wow. Yeah, he definitely is, because Jake Bonham's pretty tall.
Yeah, exactly.
Jake is pretty tall.
Yeah.
This is a fun routine. So watching all these strength positions, if they're good, I take like 60% credit. If they're not, then they did that when I wasn't in the gym. It's not my fault.
You got the coaching thing down well there, Christian.
Exactly. But Evan's been working real hard on his strength. I'm excited for how this will play out. I believe he's going to do a Maltese and 2 crosses, which is pretty huge. And then he's also going to dismount with a double-double. So this is a big set. Yeah. Straight body lift. I'm a big fan of straight body lift. Just show off how strong you are from the beginning. There's that Maltese. That's a good shape.
Maltese.
It was high, but I like the shape. Oh, and he point. There we go. He lowered into the cross. I was getting on him about the way his fingers point. Because if they point down, it looks like you still have a false grip, even though your hands are open.
There's another nice.
Into
He's good on the
another
iron cross. That's very nice.
He's very good on the iron cross. That's a pretty good opening string sequence. Yamawaki. Oh, the
Tucks,
elevation
right
on
up to
those
the hand.
swing skills.
So
he does
that looks good to me. Yeah.
Yeah, that was nice. That was nice
And
too.
Okay, there
big
you go.
double. That was a fantastic
That's
set, Evan.
Strong routine. Although my shoulders are killing
a
me
great
after
set.
watching it. It's a nice routine.
Now up for Arny.
Should have a pretty big start value as well.
On deck for William and Mary.
Connor Heary, first time we've seen him today.
Talking about those Army E scores, that looks like a 1-4. So like a 8-6 E score for Gabe. Then only what is that? I can't do math. But Jaden's is also very high. So about 1-1 off, 8-9 E score. That's great.
Again, that's been JD's focus, right? Clean. And right now, the difficulty's not there amongst the best, but he just wants them clean, and then from there, he can insert a D for a C and go from there.
For that swing there, there'll be a 10th per skill that he does with the swing.
Yeah, I like that move, but everybody seems to pick up swing with it.
That was a beautiful front giant there. Lock arm up to the handstand.
He swings nice, very nicely.
Nice. I like that double front pike dismount.
Yeah.
It's
The
so hard to
Yamawaki.
land.
Nice combination too from the Yamawaki. That's a nice job. Yeah.
Yeah, that routine is very old code, like kind of vibes with the swing elements, no strength to a full value dismount, or what would have then been a full value dismount. Evan Wilkins, 12-3, fascinating.
Yeah, and that seems slow. I mean, what did we miss on that, Christian?
I assume it was what we talked about at the beginning. I mean, the harder you try to do string skills, the harder the judges work to take them from you. So he
Take it
probably
away.
just got absolutely messed up in those first three elements.
Yeah, it seems like a low score for the routine we saw. Here's your all-arounder again.
Gorgeous
Azarian.
Azarian.
I like
That's
that.
perfect.
That's nice.
Make sure he's hitting that 2-second hold though. On the walk elements into the uprise cross, very difficult.
Again, my shoulders hurt.
Me both.
Christian, have you had shoulder surgery since your time away from gymnastics yet?
Somehow no. I have found that as long as I keep working out, my shoulder doesn't hurt. So
Yeah, you got to join the club, and that's what had happened to me. Is once I stopped competing, it was like, I think the reality is there was just muscle clusters that were holding things together instead of ligaments and tendons. So
I definitely got a couple holes in my shoulder, but I'm holding out for a bionic one. All right, I need the technology to get a little bit better, and then I'm getting a robot shoulder.
Well,
All right.
just give it time, gentlemen. Just give it time. I had a shoulder replaced 3 months ago, Christian. So
Oh,
team captain Jojo Busemeyer.
it looks like Colin Heary's E-score there was about a 9.3. With the swing on those three elements, that means like half of his E-score came from not even actual form breaks.
That was a good looking back uprise cross, nice level. right into the back upright straddle planche. I believe he lowers down into another cross. Yep, another cross.
Solid.
So the Yamawaki right up to the front giant.
Do it. Do it. Do the triple. Nope.
He does a triple tuck.
Another
He
stick.
does a triple tuck. Yeah, he's been working on triple tuck from there in high bar, but I guess the coach won't let him use it yet. We're
I
going
saw it. I've seen it on high bar. I didn't know he was doing it on rings. Wow. Man after my own heart.
But once again, that was a perfectly executed full twisting double back with stick, right? That's kind of where the Army team's at right now, is let's get that execution score as high as we can and make it look good.
And it looks like Mark scores in at 12-3. So also around a 8-3 E score. I would have thought there'd be a little more distance between him and Evan Wilkins.
I would have thought that as well.
Yeah, I'm perplexed at these two scores, to be honest with you. You're the expert here, but they certainly seem like they would have come closer to the 13 mark when I watched them.
Get that Maltese.
It was high, but it was a hole, so it should receive credit. That's much better. World's hardest B.
Yeah, exactly.
Upright planche.
Yeah.
I used to do an uprise straddle planche. I guess kind of abuse it. I took it as a break before my dismount. Oh, he's losing the handstand here.
Oh,
That's not.
He's strong.
he's fighting for the
He will
handstand.
pull a double
He's
double out of
strong.
anything though.
Nice correction.
Got the swing under control.
Nice correction.
Oh,
Gonna have to do some landing when we get back to practice. Nico's
So what-
exceptional at rings. I mean, he's a one-time NCAA finalist because he's only a sophomore. He went his freshman year, and he got 13-7 on rings both day. Outstanding rings guy. So that was not a typical set for him, but still good work.
So what's the difference between the double at the end and just the full twisting double? Is it one a D, one an E?
No, so full twisting double back is a C. So you get 3/10 for the skill, and you get 3/10 for the element group for a total of 6/10. And if you do a double, that's an E. So you get 5/10 for the skill and 5/10 for the element group, where you come at a point. So the difference between a double and a tuck half is 4/10 essentially, which means if you do everything perfect in there, you can take up to a 3/10 step and still come out ahead of someone who did tuck half.
Well, then the last two guys that took that chance really it paid off for them then, because they had to both take substantial steps, but it worked for them.
Yeah, well, it looked like JoJo's E score was also well above a 9.0. That's 2 E scores above a 9.0 on rings. Wow.
So that's completes 3 rotations so far. So moving into the second half of the meet. But see the scores up there. Army at a 154.25. William and Mary 146.55. So we made a little headway on the pommel horse, and we made a little bit more on the rings. And concerning I think looking at second half of the meets, historically our vault and as well as our high bar lacks a little bit of difficulty compared to some of the competitors, particularly Navy last week, beat us out on difficulty right at the end of the meet on the horizontal bar.
Yeah, it's true. Although you could see, Christian, JD's philosophy is kind of paying off here, right? It's all about clean sticking, and then the philosophy is once everybody is where they need to be, we start inserting, like I said, D's for C's, etc. So That worked to a certain degree, obviously. Like at the Navy we were talking about, we didn't have quite the difficulty pushing us over the edge at the end. So, okay, vault, take her away. I think William and Mary's up first on the vault. Is that the case I'm seeing here? So,
Looks like judges are just getting their table moved and reestablished down by the vault table.
so what are the big vaults we're going to see here, Christian, on the William and Mary side?
Yeah, we've got 2 guys coming in from a Yurchenko, and we've got 2 guys who are going to do that Kazumatsu style entry. So Luke Tully and Connor Barrow are both going to do Yurchenkos. It's honestly, I think Connor Barrow calls it in the air sometimes, whether or not he'll do a double full or a 2.5. But that'll be a big vault. Both are going to be very well executed, right? I could never. I decide what I'm doing before I go, and I'm not smart enough to make a decision in the middle of the game like that, but he's real good in the air. And then, so Rick's going to do a double full, so Kazumatsu full, and Sam Lee, who's going to go at the end here, who's in the William and Mary record books for vault, is going to do a 2.5.
What's the
that's
record?
a big vault.
Is it the score? High score?
He's up there. I don't remember, he might be 7th, and it was for 2.5 on vault. Last season, actually, at Navy.
Very nice. Yeah, I think Army's looking at all Kazumatsu entries. Just one. Cash Johnson will lead us off with a regular Kaz, and then our next 3 vaulters Kaz with a full. So it looks again like you might have that little bit more difficulty, and I think Army's looking forward to maybe hitting that execution score and hoping that plays out well for him on the vault.
So big lie about Sam Lee. He is 2nd in the William and Mary record books on vault. Very strong vaulter, and this will be his return to the competition for this meet.
We came right to practice, and then was here for like 2 hours and went to overtime.
What year is he, Christian?
He's in a master's program, so he's a 5th year.
Okay.
So difficulty matters a little bit more on vault than the other events because the E-score tends to just be higher since it's only one skill that you're completing. They make sure there are like 3 different ways to deduct that one skill you're doing. Make sure you have you can differentiate between better vaults. But yeah. So like, if someone who sticks a double full, can compete against someone who does a 2.5, and if they are the same in the air, that person who did the 2.5 can take a 3/10 step before it's not, before they break even.
If you're in like an intro lecture, it could be up to like 200, 300.
Line judge, like this.
Wait, I got it.
I don't see the judges. We must be on bio break or something, which I get, by the way. But I don't. It looks like we were going to get started. Your athletes standing there. And,
Oh, I think we're on live.
Yeah, so
go ahead.
typically the judging table for this is just to the right of where the camera is established, yes.
Right, we're looking over their shoulder. Yeah, I got that. Sorry.
Normally we're pretty good at seeing it.
Now, starting the 4th rotation. On vault,
Here we go.
Here we go.
William and Mary, Ricky.
Let's go, Ricky!
Let's get it, Ricky! Let's go!
Oh, and he nearly gets to 6. That was a good vault.
Yeah.
That was a nice vault.
Full. Should be pretty happy with that. I think Mary is stronger at the back half of events this season than the front half, so hopefully on vault things start to pick up for him.
We're going to have Cash Johnson, that one of our freshmen. He's going to lead off the Army.
consistent.
Yeah. As long as it's not country music, I'll sing.
There's nothing wrong with country music.
Now on ball for Army. Cash Justin.
Come on, Cash.
On deck for William Mary. Luke Tully.
Nice
There we
there.
go.
Nice.
So again, lower start value, but not a whole lot of room for deduction on that. May not score quite as high, but he's taken a lot less risk competing that just standard Kazumatsu vault.
He was happy.
And he got the stick. So Ricky's score is in at a 13.45.
Hey, confidence, toy.
You know how.
Nice and easy.
And Cash's score has just come in at a 13.050. So that difference between their scores is actually about exactly what I was talking about. So Cash did that vault fantastic, right? And he got the stick, so he got the 1/10 bonus. But he starts 4/10 lower than Ricky. So Ricky got to, have a little more form break in the air and a little bit the 1/10 on the dismount, on the landing, and that was the difference.
Yeah.
There you go. Gorgeous Yurchenko double full.
Yeah. Nice off the table. He was high.
I'm always impressed by how well he can remain patient moving that fast. He has a very distinct block, sit up, and twist that you can watch if you're looking for it.
Let's go, Maddox.
He keeps it real clean as well. Toes pointed, together. So that should be one of the higher U scores that we see throughout the vault rotation.
Yeah, that was a pretty big vault.
And Luke Tully's score just came in at a 13.85 from a 14.4. So yeah, well executed, well done.
But we got Jaden Blank from Army. Or sorry, this is Maddox.
That's good landing too. Yeah.
Well, this is a solid landing.
It looked like he was almost a little surprised that he could have stuck it. Like, he hopped up, but like he didn't need that at all. He didn't want the stick.
Let's go, Barrel.
That's good. It's always so cool to see guys who are that good at pommel horse be also good at another event, because typically pommel horse is one of those events where you see a lot of specialists. And not Maddox, because he is going to, put up the highest score on horse today and then get right back up and, be a strong vault.
He's
pretty well rounded.
Yeah, he's a good tumbler too. Actually, it's just that the other four are slightly better than him. But yeah, to your point, every time you think of side horse guys, you think of Nedorazek, don't you? You know what I mean, guys? That's just like they live on that thing.
And so Maddox's score is in at a 13.45, so he actually ties Ricky, who is the William Mary leadoff.
It's another Yurchenko style coming up we have.
It is from Connor Barrow, so this is the guy I was talking about who might call the number of twists he's doing in the air, so we'll have to keep an eye out.
2.5.
Yeah, it was a 2.5. Yeah, so not the cleanest landing there, but I think, honestly, the biggest win was, one, he's a freshman, and two, that is the first time he's competed that for the team this season. So that was a job very well done. It was clean in the air as well, a little under-rotated, of course, so that's why he took those steps backwards. But, I mean, we know he can do that vault very well. I actually saw him stick it last practice, so... Good
yeah,
work.
and anytime you're doing a front landing like that, it's completely blind, right? So that's always a harder landing to stick than, a backland.
Yeah, and so his score comes in at a 13.65, which is higher than the two causes we saw and lower than Luke's very clean Yurchenko double full.
So that was Nick Lester from Army. Sophomore, another Kazamatsu full. Little hop on the landing, but other than that, still a very clean vault.
So this is Sammy's return to the vault, one of William & Mary's best vaulters of all time. And he will also be doing a 2.5. He can twist it through the air like a knife through butter. Yeah. Oh, that's why we lift. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah,
you caught that. So yeah, I said that's why we lift, because those landings are, I mean, it looks soft because there are mats, but I promise that landing is extraordinarily firm when you're coming from that high that fast. And so, going to lift, making sure you're racking up the weight and going through that full range of motion is super important to making sure you can save landings when you're over or under. And so when he, planted on one leg while still coming down from that landing to catch himself on the back foot, that's why we lift. And he'll be rewarded for it in his score because he didn't fall.
And that could have easily been a complete fall. So, yeah, I'm tracking on that.
And Sam Lee's score comes in as the highest of the day so far with a 14.05. Ooh, pretty.
Oh, yeah.
Very nice.
Nice job, Jade. Nice stick. Yeah, nice score.
Let's go, Mark.
Fascinating. Nick Lester scores into the 14-1. So he wins vault for the day with a stuck double full.
Let's go, Mark. Get it done, baby. Let's go.
So that was a little wily with the steps.
Yeah.
He was a little crooked in the air, but that counts for his all around.
It looks like he hit the table crooked. Did it not?
Yeah, he definitely rushed to the to the table a little around the side.
You saw the assistant coach there, Carmine Giulio, walk up to the camera at the end before they cut to the event summary. It says, "Hey, how's Arny and Dano doing? You guys all right?" Yeah, appreciate that shout out, Carmine.
Yeah, and thanks to Christian, we're doing fine here, since we have actual gymnastics knowledge here on the broadcast with us. Thank you.
And so
modern gymnastics knowledge.
Exactly.
Right.
So William & Mary was able to come out ahead on this event by just under a point, 0.95. So they were able to cut that lead down just a little bit. They've definitely got a whole lot of room to work. But that was a good vault rotation, no falls, some exciting gymnastics, different vault entries. I liked it.
You see the running score after 4 rotations. Army at a 208.3. William & Mary 201.55. So closing the gap a little bit. Moving on to parallel bars next, but I believe we have a couple minute touch warm up in between the next rotation.
I like where parallel bars is headed, to be honest with you. I like the giants. I like the swinging. I like the swinging immediate tricks of like Diamondovs, twirls, and one bar work. I like where this event is heading in this quadrennial, in other words. I also remembered, Christian, from the West Point Open, that you had a couple guys that swung very nice work on the parallel bars.
Yeah, no. So we had two guys make it to finals, and not only did we have two guys make it to finals, Zachary Patrick actually got second after day one, which means that he qualified to Winter Cup from West Point Open. And
awesome.
he is
very
the
nice.
he is the first athlete to qualify to Winter Cup from William & Mary in like 10 years. So we've got a whole bunch of really exciting gymnastics. Zach does a good combination of upper bar and under bar that shows real mastery over both of those elements. Jared is an absolute whiz with support work. Evan is stronger at that under bar work, but he like Zach has a great blend. And Mark is another one of those upper bar whiz with his. He's gonna do Makutes, Healy, Stutz, Diom, the whole 9 yards.
You know, Christian, while we're waiting here, you were discussing with us earlier when we were off air about the workout facility that William and Mary was using and how the program was structured. If you don't mind, as we have some time here, would you mind articulating your program there?
Yeah, so William & Mary used to be in Kaplan Hall on campus, and that facility has since been repurposed, and we moved off-site to a facility called Williamsburg Gymnastics, owned by Pete and Cindy Walker. Pete Walker, who went to William & Mary, is one of the greats and was a coach for a long time. And we practice out of their facility. It is gorgeous. It is huge. It's and we have a great relationship with them, so it's a good time. And
How do you still move into the arena when you compete?
Absolutely, yeah. So when it's time to compete, we have like a whole set of equipment that's like stored upstairs in Kaplan, and we just pull it out, set it all up, and then tear it back down, and we're done.
Very good. All right, looks like we're almost back here, getting their final touches in for the last two events: parallel bars and a horizontal bar.
Yeah. So typically. AAI has been the standard like a competition equipment in men's gymnastics for the past couple of years, at least for the 4, 5 I was in college. And so Army has been like I've been on speed bars like twice, and Army's like both of them.
Yeah, that was one of the JD's priorities, by the way, when he got there, is because in order, I guess, to hold Winter Cup, the way he explained it to me, or international qualifiers, you have to use that level of equipment. So he's invested in getting, I think, mostly Spieth equipment now, or we will have all Spieth equipment by the end of the year, one of the two. So I know there's a difference in the equipment. I'm told you'd know that better than most. So I understand that the Spieth parallel bars have a flexibility that people love. Is that correct?
Yeah, they're bouncy in like an interesting way. It's tough to describe. I personally feel it the most when I'm in support. I don't do the tap-out work, so I couldn't tell you what the bounce is like on the ends, but I feel the bounce the most in support. Somehow I like the way you set it much better, actually. That's like my favorite part about the bars, is there are like actual like little numbers as you see like by the orange looking handles, and that's when it just makes it easier to set.
Isn't the high bar that way too? You kind of set the rigidity of the high bar on that little cable. Is that correct?
we have a tool to measure cable tension, so we'll go to various places, and Coach Bo will pull out the tool and make sure it's similar from place to place. What I think is super interesting about the Spieth bars is that they're actually like very subtly a different shape than the AAI bars, which you wouldn't think would be a thing, but it totally is. They're like rounder just a little bit.
It looks like we're getting ready. Army's leading off on the parallel bars with Cash Johnson.
I got to hand it to Cash. He sets us up for three events, leading us off, and to this point he's always done well, man. He's manned up for the job as a freshman. There's a lot to be admired there. Not easy.
There we go. Catch is fun to watch, but he's always very, very clean, well executed.
Nice lines.
Just a little bobble on that swing the handstand.
Nice to his hand, yeah. A little short on
right
the
to the
healing.
hand.
There's actually a very subtle deduction there as well. You'll notice he did the Diamondov. It was a little past the handstand, so he did the front upright swing handstand out of it. That's not the deduction. That's a very normal thing to do, aside from the Diamondov shy of handstand. The swing to handstand, though, this current quad must be finished with a pirouette afterwards, actually. Every time you swing to handstand, unless you're going to continue in that same direction over the top, you must do a pirouette. So doing front upright swing handstand and then stutz, in theory, is a deduction. We'll see if the judges catch it. They're pretty clever about that kind of thing, so they might or are likely to. But it's like those little things you look for, that, the hand checks. Every time you see the athletes shift their hands, if they're not physically in the course of a skill, that's a deduction.
So, Zach, you got it.
Cash did a pretty good job, though, of making sure he wasn't shifting his hands a whole bunch during the set. So this is Zachary Patrick, our senior and Winter Cup qualifier, event specialist on the parallel bars.
Come on, Zach. Good, Zach. Come on. Settle in. Give him nothing. Nothing here, Zach. Yep, just like that.
Good giant. He'll go into a big tapelt here. Huge.
Yeah, nice tapelt.
And so this is where the Peters comes up. Check this out. Stutz to one bar, which he worked with really well because he did not catch that in a perfect handstands. And so you'll see him front upright, swing handstand into the pirouette. You see he's shifting his hands a bunch. So we're going to try and get rid of that. You'll notice he winks in his L before his dismount every time. Apparently he's been doing that since high school. Double pike.
Nice.
And almost the stick.
Yeah. So let me ask you this question. Why would... I'm sorry, Dan. Why would you put your best parallel bar guy up first? Because in my time, you kind of sequence such as you, yeah, right. You kind of build it up, but your better guys were last for the higher scores.
That's a great question. And historically, I mean, that's how we do it as well. I believe they're playing with the lineup order a little bit for a number of reasons. One of them is comfortability, like who is comfortable competing where. And the other is we've got some athletes who are doing more events. Like Mark Fu may not be anchor in a traditional sense, but Mark Fu has also done 4 events today. So we're going to put him last so that he has more time to compete. And even while I was on the team, we do things like this, especially referring to comfortability. My teammate Aiden Coy was way better than me at parallel bars, and he's truly phenomenal on the event. And I competed as anchor because he preferred it, and it didn't bug me. So that's just one of those, niche things that you work out with the athlete that we don't mind playing around with.
This is Jacob Brenner from Army.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to lose that GM.
He's a strong guy. He's working with it. Nice to pelt. So the half swing down to L, press back up.
Yeah, I didn't get that one. I've mentioned that to the coach, too. I'm a little miffed at that sequence, to be honest with you.
It looks like a mistake, but that was a good dismount.
Yeah.
I agree. It's like it just lowers down into the L just to press back up to hit that element group. Seems to be a better way to maybe get into that L.
Yeah. And pointedly, Jared's actually also going to do the same sequence, despite my many protests. My biggest thing is that I just think it looks like a half swing. But, I mean, we've, clarified with other judges and such that it's not. I just think visually it may not be the smoothest transition between skills. But some athletes are, they don't want to do a peach. They can't do a peach. They've already done the peach. But honestly, you see it before the dismount because they're more worried about their dismount. If an athlete tends to struggle with their dismount, they're going to make sure they are perfectly set up on that handstand with a moment to breathe in the L first as they do the press, make sure their hands are even and they're going to get the right swing and so on and so forth. And so that's why Jared made the change. This is going to be a big set. He's got the Peach straddle cut to start, which is a funky skill, super unique. I love it.
Yeah, it's a good looking skill. I like that one.
Huge front straddle quarter.
That was very big. That looked great.
Now he's going to swing under the bar cast to the whippet. Oh. And so that Hanma swing handstand, he did not get to handstand.
Nice.
So that'll be a fall on the apparatus. So you'll see he does the swing down, the press up for a big double pike here.
He leaned back in the swing, and he leaned back. Yeah, so I knew he was in trouble there. What? Say again why there's a fall?
So,
explain that, please.
Yeah, on Hanma swing handstand, you'll notice he got his hands underneath of him, and he didn't come off the bars, of course, but he did not complete the swing to handstand, and his arms bent further than 90 degrees, at which point you incur a 5/10 deduction, and that's assuming you get to handstand. You get a 5/10 no credit if your arms bend more than 90 degrees, and you get to a handstand. But then he took swings after to recover, and that's probably going to just come up to a fall.
Took 2 extra swings there. Here's Connor up. Connor here for Army.
Jacob
got the highest difficulty of the Army team on the parallel bars.
That's interesting. Because he was about the lowest difficulty on rings for the entire event. It's cool to see him play to his strengths on different events like that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
that sequence from Connor was nice right there. I like the Diamond right into the giant and connect right into the Belsar. His legs up.
I've never seen anyone do that. The straight-legged Moi directly to an L like that is crazy.
Double front.
That's cool.
Oh, nice job.
Up front. Yeah, another blind landing. He seems to do pretty well at those.
Evan Wilkins on deck from Army. Joseph.
Yeah, a couple little form breaks, but I think that score from Connor should be pretty good for Army on the parallel bars.
Yeah, it looks like you were right on Jared's score there, Christian. They hit him pretty substantially there.
Yeah, so ordinarily he'd have a higher start value because he lost credit for that Hanma. So he'd be more like a 4.2, 4.3. Oh, it updated. Yeah, so even higher then because his net skill's worth a D. It probably got replaced with some other, insubstantial A. But he'd probably normally be around a 4.3, 4.4. Evan's got some exciting gymnastics here. I'm actually not sure which routine he's going to do. He's got several upgrades in the works and is adaptable to do any of them, all of them, and make the rest still look great. Each handstand mount. They'll get him for that bent arms on the way up to handstand. But there you go. Front straddle quarter. Oh, the Dion.
That was a little short.
Yeah, I'm not confident they're going to give that credit. That was an interesting way to recover. It was good because he didn't come off the rails. They'll probably just. It
appears as though he might be rushing. It looks like he's rushing a little bit through this routine.
Yeah, he tends to work through parallel bars pretty fast. It definitely might have behooved him in that set to have slowed down just a tad. It seems like it just got a little away from him. Although, yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you're swinging through, right? You're upside down on one arm. You realize you're not going to make it back to the bars in a handstand. You pull yourself close, do the front uprise. And, from there, you got to get back into your set. And the whole thing speeds up. In that moment, you realize you are having to ad-lib.
Yes. Post a score for Connor of a 12.55. Finished up on parallel bars here for Army with Jojo Boosmeyer.
Nice Healy. Short on Diamond there, huh?
Come on.
Come on, Mark. Go, Joe. Come on, Joe. Tight, Mark. Let's go, Joe. Come on. Get down. Come on, Joe. Let's go.
Yes, ma'am.
They're so good on the landing, so it's always good to end well. But he did have a handful of bobbles through that set. That's not typical of JoJo on parallel bars.
Yeah, and was that so? He missed the Diamond and then had to take that swing. Is that what you were talking about, Christian? Is he going to get like a series of deductions on that for missing the skill and then?
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy how fast it all like snowballs on you.
Yeah,
so you miss the skill, so your start value, you miss the skill and you lose 3/10 because you didn't get credit for it. But then also in missing the skill, you're going to incur deduction for being shy of that handstand, right? So you're going to get a 3 or a 5 or a 1, whatever it ends up being. I guess if it's a 1, then you're not going to lose credit. So you're going to get like a 5, and then you take the extra swing to recover. And some judges will take for that, some won't, and you just kind of have to wait and see.
I love this mount.
I'm going to probably press on one rail. Looks like he had to flex his toes to get through, so that'll be a deduction. And
By
unfortunately,
the way, I
both of their hand shots.
saw that in 1970s. The Japanese gymnasts did that. I don't know if you recall that, but they started that move way back in the 72 Olympics.
I'll tell you, Arny, I do not recall that.
Since you were born, and I get it, but that's a little bit of history for you guys.
There you go,
About
Mark.
10 years early for me.
Oh, that was a good job.
Right.
You did a good job bringing it back for William and Mary there. I don't know if you caught that Makoots, which was the first element he did in support, but he did that without pausing on the single rail, which is exceptionally difficult, and he did very well. Directly into Healy, which was gorgeous. He did a Diam to handstand, a Stutz. So he put on a masterclass for those support elements there and managed to get his dismount to his feet as well. So that was a good comeback routine for the tribe after 2 rougher sets.
Yeah, we had a guy named Jackson that would do a Makoots last year. He's in med school now, as a matter of fact. But it was a pucker factor move, right? I mean, you either nail it or it nails you. It's like the parallel bar version of side horse, of a pommel horse. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's always that risk versus reward, and that goes back into the athlete's confidence level, the coaching staff, what their plan is, and their how they're looking to get the best scores possible. So great, big skills are cool and they're exciting to watch, but you carry a lot more risk with those ones too.
So we're complete with 4 events now, or 5 events now, excuse me, and heading into the exciting horizontal bar. And Army is ahead 258.65 to 250.05.
So Christian, how's William Mary shake up on horizontal bar this season?
Pretty good. High flying as well. We got Luke Tully, who's a freshman, who's going to do some Tkachev work, maybe even a Kovacs if he's feeling crazy. So we'll see 1 or 2 Tkachev from him and maybe a Kovacs. Jared Neumann's on high bar. Wow, this is going to be his high bar debut. He's been putting in a lot of work. He's got a very relaxed swing. Mark Fu does some great in-bar work with these talk fulls, this talk half. And Ricky Pisum is going to do probably one of the highest Coleman's you've ever seen. So it'll be fun at the very least.
Very nice.
Yeah. Again, a very high risk reward event, right? Because you're doing releases. You're required to do releases. So you either hit them and usually score big, or God forbid, if you fall off, you lose a whole point.
Exactly that. And if you didn't swing through the bottom, you're not getting credit either. So you got to have to get back up and risk repeating it and falling again, or you're going to miss the whole element group. So there's a little bit of strategy in there too.
It's So you're looking at the Army team for horizontal bar this year. We have 2 freshmen and 2 sophomores for our 4 counting scores. In not as high of difficulty as a lot of other teams out there, but they tend to do what they do very well. So, being a young squad on the horizontal bar, hopefully in the next year or 2, we can start seeing them increase that difficulty and bring those start values up.
And one super niche thing that I'm going to point out is sometimes the bright lights can be distracting on high bars. You're flying through the air trying to get back to the bar on these release moves. And Army has a fantastic lighting setup. If you can see it on the camera there, those bars of light point up at the ceiling and then are naturally diffused and reflected down. So it is bright in the gym, like of course well enough so that you can see, train, and there's no issue. But there are no big bright lights in your face or in your eyes while you're trying to do your gymnastics. And it is just a super niche thing I have loved about competing at Army for my career.
I think this is good.
Yeah, that's a neat system they put in there. And this gym is as far as training facilities go, it's fairly new, but again, as technology moves forward and training ideas move forward, I know that there's some talks about some future upgrades that are desired. But this gym actually opened my junior year of competing at West Point, so.
And just for an event winner update, it looks like Army has swept one more event with Jojo Busselmeyer winning parallel bars at 13-0.
Yeah, I think that's a good score for JoJo for that set. I felt like he had a couple bobbles in there that, we talked about. He had to cover up a little bit here and there. And as you were saying, maybe the particular judges decided to have some grace on a little bit of the extra swing or the corrections.
Yeah, I mean, he started from a 14-1, so he had an 8-9 E score, which is just about the best one, except for Jacob Brenner, who I will briefly shout out as one of my club teammates from Preston Gymnastics Academy in Montgomery County, Maryland.
Oh, very nice.
All right, getting ready to our final event here. And William and Mary's going to lead us off.
This is our third or fourth time seeing Luke today. He's got such a big immediate impact, not only on the lineups, but just for the team itself. He brings a lot of energy to the gym, and you'll see it in his gymnastics if he hits this, and, it'll be big. He'll get excited. He's one of those athletes.
High bar is much like the still rings. It's one of the fan favorites to watch, right? High excitement events, high flying. It's very exciting to watch.
With that jam work, that Adler to handstand. He's going to invert his shoulders real quick there for that Russian giant, which is a C value. Good skill if you are flexible enough to do it. And that talk, which he pops up pretty close to a handstand. It's tough to tell from this angle, but nice.
Straddle.
Oh, he's gearing up. This dismount. And the stick. There you go.
Nice stick.
Bang, bang. See, I told you. He gets animated. That was a good set. I'm surprised there weren't more releases. He has a Pike Tkachev that he was sequencing and putting in routines earlier in the week, as well as a Kovacs. So a little bit downgraded, but I mean, it was gorgeous. So well worth it. He's definitely got more in the tank. And he's also only a freshman, so he's got plenty of time to put it all in. No need to throw in the kitchen sink yet.
We got Cash Johnson starting again. Another event for us, huh?
Yeah, Cash made an immediate impact on the Army team this year as a freshman. I think steadily competing on, I believe, 4 events. So that's pretty huge for a freshman.
You know, I saw him. I think I may have told you this, Dan. I saw him at Beast Barracks this year when they were at Lake Frederick. It was my 45th, or I'm sorry, it was the 50th year affiliation that I'm part of. And I saw him up there, and I said, "How you doing?" He said, "I'm doing great, sir, but I think I'm gaining weight." I said, "You're gaining weight." Okay, that's different.
Nice. And he always just has great form on no matter what event he's competing.
Yeah, beautiful lines.
Come on.
Nice
Like
cross.
Takachev.
Yep.
And a straddle. There's his 2 release moves.
And dismount.
Oh, double.
Oh, nice. Double.
Double,
Yeah,
double.
there he is.
Hop on the landing, but all good.
He's excited. He's excited. He's got mom's DNA there. You see where it's coming from? Yeah.
Wow, 13-4 for Luke. My goodness. 9-6 E-score?
Yeah. Wow.
Doth my eyes deceive me? That is crazy. That is one of
Nice
the
score.
highest
That's good.
E-scores today outside of vault, if not the highest.
Yeah. Nice score. Well, deservedly so, right?
You know, and that's something interesting to point out here with the change in you know, how the meet flows and the 4-up 4 count, right? So, you know, you really got to rely on all 4 of your athletes to hit events. So, you know, seeing these more honed in, talented athletes that are hitting events, it kind of, yes, not as many athletes are competing. However, ones that are they tend to be of a much better caliber and consistency.
Oh, I like the one arm. Nice
Yeah, the
job.
Julian man. I love that skill. It's a fan favorite. He's going to try and pop this talk up the handstand now. Well, he does a pretty good job. He's definitely going to get a good angle deduction, but that is not bad.
Another one arm.
Those Takamoto skills are so hard to put to handstand.
Right on.
Ground to Takacha, get that flight element groove. He's got some more jam work for us. Their handstand. Oh, that's an angle.
That was nice.
He's also going to invert those shoulders right there. Get that Russian giant.
man.
It's a great, very valuable sequence. You get the C for the jam, B for the L grip giant, C for the Russian giant. Gearing up for his dismount. Nice.
Nice
Good
routine.
job, Jared.
Nice routine.
That was good.
I need to go. I need to go get ice for my shoulders now, but that was a nice routine. I really look good. Yeah.
You know, I could never figure out the jam. And I used to, in high school, I used to compete the double hand roll out into the L grip giants.
Yeah, I did a Higgins to double L back in the day. But no, Jared has put a tremendous amount of work into that routine. I get like a sense of pride watching it despite my negative involvement in anything high bar related. But he's worked so hard, and it's good to see it pay off like that, being rewarded with a lineup spot and then, you know, given the option to, you know, prove himself a little bit there, which he absolutely did by hitting that set. So good job on him. And by the way, Cash Johnson scores in at a 12.85 from a 14.1.
Yeah, nice job.
Jaden Blank, sophomore.
Nice.
Dancing.
Nice jam. Nice Takachev into the shoulder.
Oh, came up.
He had that.
He did. He had it. He had it. Yeah.
He didn't want it.
I'll see him on
He
Friday.
could have fought that a little bit harder.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's interesting on, you know, fighting for these sticks. There was a lot of uproar when stick bonus, which has been in the NCAA for a while, was added to the elite scene for this code under you know, FIG. And I, of course, am used to it being in the NCAA, but I also don't mind it because there are so many ways to get deducted on a landing that you stick that, you know, the 1/10 to offset some of those deductions like feel worth it. Because like I think it's exciting when someone, you know, fights for that stick and they're, you know, waving their arms to avoid moving. You know, that arm circle is a 10th. So, you know, making sure you net even at least by getting that 10th back for the stick, I appreciate. This is Mark. Gonna gear up for his release now. Stratos Kochev. Oh, awkward fall. That's also
yeah.
unusual.
He has a very powerful swing. He's set up for that huge.
That is strange. So this is like I would say that's the second meet in a row maybe that he's missed his straddle to Kochev. And that's just unusual for him. That's a pretty easy release.
So he was on the bar. I wonder if he maybe caught with his wrist and then his dowel never grabbed.
It's unfortunate when you have those mistakes that you don't typically make in practice. So he's going to try and reset now. And he's going to repeat.
Got to repeat that skill.
Take some power off. Make sure he stays on the bar. Still pretty clean on the swing out. Because he is not even close to done. He's got all his in-bar elements left. So there you go. Talk full handstand. He's going to pop back out. Another talk half. Another good angle. Stall there. Get that to handstand as well. Flying giant. Could use a little more amplitude on that. He's cranking up here. Lay half-half or double-double. Lay half-half. And a medium hop backwards.
That was a nice routine. It's a shame he had to fall.
He's a powerful swinger on the high bar. Another freshman up next for Army, Jake Prabhakaran. Again, Tampa, Florida. So another warm climate guy spending his winters up at the United States Military Academy.
I'm sure questioning his decision at this point in January, February.
Yeah.
We have what we call the gloom period, Christian, at this time of the year because it's, as you know, in the Northeast, it's so gray, so overcast. The buildings are gray, the uniforms are gray, like everything is gray.
A great period. Sounds cheery. Oh, that's cool. I like that entry into that stall. Pardon me, endo.
Yeah, nice lines. Close.
That was a good push away.
I know.
He caught real close on that.
Bar. Yeah.
Oh, double layout.
Yeah, good recovery.
Yeah, short of that catch and recovery off that Tkachev. Very clean gymnast. Not a whole lot of difficulty in the routine, but what he does, he makes it look well.
Yeah, so with that double layout dismount, which he did very well, it's pretty in the air. That's one of those dismount disparities we're seeing again, where the dismount mirrors your element group value. So Cash Johnson did a double-double there, and he did it very well, and he got that E dismount, and he got 5/10 for the element group as well, whereas Jake did the double layout, so he'll get a C for the skill, and then he'll also get 3/10 for the element group, which once again is like 6/10 total versus 1 point total. So that 4/10 swing is huge, especially because Cash was pretty close to the stick if he didn't get it.
I think he did stick just a small bobble.
This is Rick. Rick's a high flyer. I mean, just take a look right here at this Yamawaki. Full body height above the bar. I mean, that is huge. No one does that.
Yeah, that was big.
There you go. Gearing up now. Coleman, watch this. Huge.
Oh,
strong
nice
push
job.
away, gorgeous swing out. He's going to want to put this one a little further from the bar. He's going to do the Kovacs.
Oh,
fantastic. Man. Ricky is just incredible at this event. He's going to gear up here. Watch this. He's going to crank a Zuli Min. Oof. Flying around that bar. Ricky is crazy good on the one arm. He can actually Zuli Min on both arms, which is unheard of. I have never met anyone who would try that, let alone
that's
interesting. Do it.
There's a flying giant. He got nice amplitude on that.
Double.
Oh. Man, that was a gorgeous routine.
Darn. That's a bummer.
That was beautiful.
That
That was a
was
beautiful.
a great set.
Yeah.
From Arny.
You know what, Coach? You need to talk about landings when you get in the gym. on,
Yeah,
on
I
Monday.
will bring it right up.
Man, that was it's a shame he had to give up because that was a big scoring routine right there.
So we're
The
seeing
last
some.
competitor for Army, Tyson Phelps, another warm weather guy from North Carolina, sophomore on the team this year.
We're seeing some lower E scores now, even for the hit routines, which is making Luke Tully's, 13-4 from a 14-0 stand out even more. Clearly rewarded for that low difficulty, high execution approach.
Come on, get it up. Yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
good handstand. That Russian giant. Ooh, I love it when athletes are comfortable enough to do the L grip giant directly into a pirouette like that.
It's got great flexibility. Nice.
Two Takaches into the Stalder there.
Gearing up for the dismount. Full fold.
Full twisting
All
double.
right.
Yep.
Nice. Nice job. It was a good, clean event again for Army. Obviously didn't have the difficulty that your last athlete did. But yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if he was pretty close. Ricky does not do a full value in bar. So although he does those high flying releases, he gets that little knock and start value. And I believe Mr. Phelps actually did. So I would not be surprised if they were actually pretty close in start value.
interesting.
Yeah, you can see that 11-7 for Ricky. That's concerning with as you compare it to Mr. Tully there leading off. Like 13-4 was a phenomenal score. And I know.
Yeah.
And Ricky took the fall at the end there on the dismount.
Waiting on our last score of the meet here, and then we'll summarize the event and the meet for you. It's been a great competition all the way around. William and Mary really looks good, and I said this earlier. There's no doubt in my mind that by the end of this year, they're going to be like 15 to 20 points better. It happens every year, and including watching you all those years, Christian. It's a slow build to your team and coach's credit, but by the time ECACs come around, they're always a force to be reckoned with, and I see that talent level here again.
Yeah, no, certainly looking to really increase that hit percentage. I mean, Army, they just went 24 for 24, if I'm not mistaken, right? No actual falls. I guess you can't. I guess the guy on horse. Pardon me for blanking on his name momentarily.
Yeah, we had one. We had one on horse that I would count it. That would have. That's a major break. A fall count.
And I mean that's the difference. Hit sets and stick landings, and good things happen. So, good job to Army. Well deserved win.
Yeah, again, I think they're on the right track. Next week is the All Academy Championships at Fort Worth. Obviously, Army, Navy, and Air Force. So, they're gearing up for big time there. It's next Saturday at the Omni down in Fort Worth.
And that'll be an interesting competition. There we are, 12-6 for Tyson. So that falls right in line. And I believe the official scores are all in at this point. We're looking at Army finishing out the 308.35 and women Mary 298.65. So that's 3 points below where we were last week against Navy, but not a bad competition today.
So going over the event finals here, Mark Fu, a very nice score there on floor. Cash did a great job too, to be honest with you there, coming up and then Luke Tully. So
Yeah, so Mark was the sole all-arounder, but I mean, if you're doing, what, 4 events like Cash, come on, what's Pommels and Rings? You can do it.
yeah. I don't think it's that. I think it's just much better people as we have now on the team. So, yeah.
Yeah, like as we saw Mark in the all-around spot, an athlete only has to be in at least 3 lineups in order to do all-arounds. So if he does want to, it's an option because he's on 4 and he's doing 4 very well. And so to go through just the event titles, on floor, it went to an Army competitor. It went to JoJo Busselmeyer, the 13.6. On horse, it was Maddox. There we go. Yeah. Oh, it looks like, pardon me. Pommel horse was Maddox, of course, and then rings went back to JoJo, who, won 2 events today at least. Good for him. Very talented athlete. It's good to see him competing again this season.
Yeah.
Yeah, he brings a lot of personality to the Army team as well. So he's fun to watch, fun to have around.
Nick edged out Sam in the vault there barely, but again, back to the cleanliness thing. But William and Mary, I mean, look at the 4 of the top 5 were William and Mary folks. So you guys had a very good vault event.
Yeah, definitely pushing the difficulty there with 2 2.5s. I know Ricky can do one. He's had some hip issues, so he's trying to get back to it as well. And a 3rd event title for JoJo.
3rd event for JoJo.
And
parallel bars.
Jacob Brenner in 2nd place with a 12.8. That's great. 9.0 E-score. Yeah, highest on parallel bars. And Luke Tully, the sole event title for William & Mary today from the freshman with a textbook high bar set and gorgeous execution.
Yeah, that's huge. The 9.3 execution score there. That was really fun to watch.
I believe that makes his first career event title, actually.
Again, the all-around, Mark Fu was the only all-arounder today. So, Pommel horse and rings, we get Cash up there. Make up 11 points, you might have an option. All right, well, hey, this is Dan Colomb, West Point grad 03. It's always fun coming back and doing these, so we appreciate you all watching. And that's it for me. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you all very much for watching. I want to say thank you to Christian in particular to bring the knowledge for us. It was a great event. I always enjoy this. Thanks to my 03 colleague and retired lieutenant colonel here. We got to do this again, guys. We got to do it again. So Christian will call on you again, hopefully. So thank you all for listening. Thank you for watching. And go Army, beat Navy.
Absolutely. Bye, people.